Good morning, JC Karate. It is, for me, it's Christmas night, and you'll all be watching this, if you watch this, the day after Christmas. And I was thinking about my 5-minute workout for the week, and thinking about holiday and training in Tang Soo Do, and the workout. I know I default to it being fitness and how many push-ups can I do, or let's do the star block, or fun, crazy, physical. And yet, if you study your student manual, you read your student manual, you know that one of the big, really important, overarching philosophies from Grandmaster Shin and Tang Soo Do is this whole person concept, this mind, body, spirit. And so I think the holiday and thinking about spirit and spirituality and religion and the mind in our training, and that it's not just a physical training, it's a mental training, it's a spiritual training, and thinking about how do we actually train those parts of our person. And I do believe that by going to class and working out hard in the dojang and participating and being part of your dojang community, you naturally train your mind and your spirit in the process of training for your rank and participating in your community. And that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I wanted to talk about how you work out those other two parts of that trifecta of the whole person concept of mind, body, spirit. And one of the things that I used to bring up to my dojang when I had a studio in San Francisco over the holidays was I made a request of all my students. As we headed into the holidays, I asked them to say 4 things as much as possible, over the break. When we were going to school, and we would go on vacations from school. And we'll get back to that, I hope, here in 2021. But I asked all my students to say 4 things as much as possible. And if you were in my class the last couple of weeks, you would have heard them as well, because I was bringing it up with our boys and girls only classes and master's clubs, and I think I fill in a couple of Saturday morning all GUP class. And those 4 things start with the magic word, please, and then thank you, and then you're welcome. So those 3 kind of go together, right? And the 4th one is I love you. So I would ask my students to try and say those as much as possible. Really all the time, but I bring it up over the holidays. Please, thank you, you're welcome, and I love you. And if we can get into the practice of that, that helps us. Those 4 little sound bites. Some of them are expected, and you want to make sure you say those, right? Someone passes you something, holds the door, say thank you, right? However, it's when we go the extra mile and do it when it's not sort of expected of us. We get into the idea of contributing to the greater world around us. And right now that world's gotten small. We're kind of all in our houses together for the most part. But when you think about the community that you're a part of, the first community you're ever a part of is your family. And I know that we've got some new Chodanbo students that are looking to test for black belt in the beginning of next year. And so you all have your service projects, which I think is wonderful, and I'm really proud of you for doing such a great job with your toy drive. But you can practice being, and it's not but, and one way we can all practice being in service is being in service to our family. And that starts by being respectful, by having manners, by appreciating those around us. So my challenge to all of you is to take a moment and think about where in your life you can step up your manners, step up your respect. And so those 4 things, saying those as much as possible, is a great place to start. And then for the older kids in my dojang, one of the things that I would ask them to do is to do the things that are kind of, not really chores, but do things in the house before being asked. So for some of you, maybe it's remembering to brush your teeth before you go to bed, right, without being asked. Or maybe it's making sure you have your clothes laid out for the next morning. There are those little things that you do in your lives that your parents maybe are asking you to do, or for the adults, maybe you've got a colleague or a coworker that tends to remind you of something and you're like, oh yeah, John, I forgot to do that, or oh, Carol, yeah, I'll get to that tomorrow, I'm sorry, right? We all have these little places, and you know what it is for you. I don't know what it is for you in your life. I know what it is for me in my life, but you know what it is for you in your life to take that step forward and do things before you're being asked, right? So you have your manners, and then find ways in your own worlds where you can basically become a better person by being, the word is proactive, or taking the initiative, doing something that needs to be done before being asked. And these are all ways that you can practice being of service on your number one team, which is your family team. And then it's your Dojang team, maybe it's a church team, or maybe it's a sports team or a Girl Scout team, right? There's all these different communities you're a part of in your life, but the first one you get to be a part of is your family. And so my workout for all of you today is to take a moment and think about the teams, the communities you're a part of, and think about how you can show up bigger for the people on those teams. Maybe it starts with manners. Maybe it starts with a simple action. And my gift that I'd like to offer a JCK team right now is for all of you that have made it through this video, which has gone past 5 minutes right now. If you take a moment and sit down, think of 3 things that you can do to show up bigger in the communities in your life, the families, the teams, and put it in an email to me, and email it to me. Anyone that completes this assignment, with the grace of Master Couture, I'd like to offer you 2 private lessons for the price of 1. So, I love you, I support you, and I'm here to support you playing bigger in your life. So take some time, think about what you can do to show up big for the people in your life, the communities you're a part of, and shoot me a note. What 3 things you're going to take on to be a bigger and better person moving forward, and we can train together on the mats. I love you all. Happy Christmas. Tong Su.